Right, well guys, I've been promising this video for a while. This is my 6th scales collection. Now, disclaimer before I start this video, anybody getting into this side of the hobby either needs deep pockets, a large house, or an understanding wife, or all three of those, because once you start getting into these puppies, they are serious. Now these are the three. There's a story for this one at the end. I'll come to that at some point. Right, when my video assistant leaves. Right, 6 scales. You can't really get a scale of these, so this one's a bit dusty. It's been upstairs and it is very, very heavy. Right, so I will show you, basically. This is my 1/6 scale excursion. Now this is a Tamiya Blackfoot shell on a CC01. Now, you can see just how much bigger a 6 scale is than a 1/12. Is it roughly twice the size? Who knows? I'll cover that one in my update video, which will be out this week. I just want to show you. Oh, put it in recycling. Right, now these two are actually very similar in construction. I've gone a couple of different routes with. I'll start with this one. This one is the first one I built. This is the technically it's a Mega Motors 6 scale, and both of these used to be black. I've built many black cars, and I'm trying to get away from black cars. So this is my 6 scale. Now this thing, this part is plastic. Everything underneath is metal, and I mean everything. Now, you'll have to bear with me on this video because this thing is damned heavy, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you it properly without breaking it. Right. Now that... Oh my god, it stands. That is the underside. These are Jazz Rider Tamiya King Hauler drive shafts. Everybody will recognise the knockoff 4-wheel drive centre transfer case. This is another Jazz Rider shaft. These are aftermarket Wraith AR60 axles, aluminium. These links are all they're all aluminium tubing, but with M4 threaded rod inside. So everything. This is metal. All these inner fenders are metal. This thing is heavy. These are steel, by the way. 12mm square steel tube, which took all my manly strength to bend them, I'll be honest. A little bit of work it needs is these brackets don't want to fasten in very well. That wasn't the best way to make this work, but it was the first one I did from scratch. So the steering servo is currently broken. It's not up to the task. I'm going to have to spend a lot of money to get a steering servo that's good enough for this behemoth. It's running on also metal 2.2 beadlocks. So as you can see, this thing is heavy, heavy, heavy. That's actually an Emax drive shaft to the Emax gearbox, which may not be staying in there because it actually belongs to an Emax. Obvious statement to make for that, but it had to be done. I mean, look at that puppy. Now you've seen where the weight comes from. Have I got my trusty here? Yeah. Oh, I have a screwdriver here. As you can see, they're all metal, all the way into there, into the bulkhead. It's all metal. I need to remake the gearbox mount because it was a makeshift job, and you'll have to bear with me if this video goes a little awry in places. I'm nursing a really nasty chest infection at the moment, which I've had for nearly a month and will not go away. No, it's not COVID, before anybody asks. Right, the interior on this one. Like I said, these two started out identical. This one is what this one used to look like this. You would not believe the amount of bodywork to get it to there, but we'll come to that. We've run out of space, haven't we? This is why I should never got into this. I repainted the entire interior. They started out as all grey plastic inside, It's currently got all the instruments light up, as do these little marker lights and the headlights, but for some reason there's a problem with the wiring. I took it out in the snow at Christmas. Some of you have seen that video, especially the nice guy from Ampo Engineering commented on that one for me. Yeah, it's heavy, so the snow posed it absolutely zero resistance. But snow is basically water, as everybody knows, so it gets everywhere. I might as well have been driving it through a lake. Now, I haven't serviced it since, so probably all the bearings are shafted, and probably half of the electronics. Now, the Hobbywing 1060 ESC is up to the task. All the electronics are in a little waterproof box, so they'll be alright. The motors are, well, they're Traxxas motors, so you can say what you want about those. It's things like the lighting kit that I fitted to it. I need to glue these on because they keep coming off. They're rubbish. They look ace, but they are rubbish. Got these like little optical lenses that just I thought would look really good, but they don't. Right, anyway, so I'm going to move this one out of the way and come back. So, if anybody's got any questions about the underside, I'll do another video. This thing is so heavy, I try not to move it around unless it's going out. I keep it propped up so that the tyres, because as you can see, the tyres are bulging now, just under the weight. And they're quite firm foams in there, but this one hasn't had a thorough test off-road. It's been in the garden, it's been in the snow outside, but the one time I took it to a trail, it wasn't working when I got there, and I, to this day, don't know why, because when I brought it back and tried it again, it was working. You tell me, the world of RC and their personalities. Yeah, so these light, I do plan on putting lights in here. These all light up, which is a cool mod for this because they're under the headliner. There's actually space for lights, so I'd like to show you that lit up if I could. Is the batteries in it? Oh, we're working. Let me get the lights. Are they all working? No. Only half the lights are working currently. Bear with me. Right, so they're working. Are the dash lights working? No, the dash lights are not working. All the dials light up. I'll have to get this working. Now the headlights should be on, and so should these. For some reason, the water's got into the wiring, and these are the only lights that currently work. Are the back lights on? Oh, the number plate's lit up, if it had one. Yes, now, I gave this deliberately soft suspension. I wanted to see what it looked like out on the trail, bobbling around. I was hoping to create a realistic suspension. So, we'll see. Right, then I'll move this out of the way, and I'll move to the other one. Right, so this one is construction-wise very, very similar. Not identical. It is not identical. But as you can, I don't know if you can tell by the lack of grunting, it's much lighter. We have, I went with a tan interior on this one. This has been 4 different colours to press. It started off black. And I wanted it red, and I went with like a Ford Roman bronze. It's like slightly darker than caramel, not quite chocolate coloured brown metallic. Whether it was my painting skills or the paint, I don't know, but it had this really good camo effect. So I had to start again, trying to find paints that worked with it, and this one's got, I went with a full metal floor. Everything from here to the dashboard is metal. Wheel arches. I've got to make some trims, put in the windows and stuff like that, but it's pretty much done inside. Just some fit and fish. I got some door panels to fit and stuff. Put some nice bonnet vents in it, which I'll show you another time. These are my the bumper is, I made the bumper out of, it's actually a Tamiya Tundra high lift bumper extended, and yeah, I'm never really happy with it, but it does. I plan on making metal bumpers front and rear for both this and the yellow one. These are going to hinge up and outwards. I'm going to make a window for it. It's not going to be 100% Ford Excursion, but it's going to be, well, it's near enough. There's some cracks in it because I may have to make a mould of this and make it out of fiberglass again at a later date, because it's just, these are 2.2. These are actually imitations of the Proline BF Goodrich tyres, but they are very soft, very grippy, and the wheel nuts are loose. And you stretch them over 2.2s and they give a really good sort of 35 to 40 inch tyre look at 1/6. Right, now these are what I was using for the suspension. I've literally just replaced them because as the steering was cycling, the mounts were going backwards and forwards and the whole thing was going backwards and forwards. Now these are slightly shorter, so it's lifted it even higher. I didn't want it higher, I wanted it lower. I want it to sit about that height at rest. I don't want it to be so tall, especially seeing as in a rollover I do not trust this body. Right, now I made a better job of the underside in this. Again, this is all metal, but it's all aluminium this time. The links and the axles are actually from that double E. It says it's a 1/8, but it's actually 1/7 scale Land Rover. I put the metal axles that were just lying around on that. I've just upgraded that. I'll be doing that, another video about that soon. This is brand new, but everything else is either. But these are the Jazz Rider King Hauler axles, drive shafts again. They're good for this because of the length, and they are really heavy duty. The only problem is these grub screws keep coming out, and once they do, it's not a drive shaft anymore, it's just a piece of metal. So yes, it's got a Toro 4-pole 2000k 2.2 kV motor in there. It's a little bit fast for it. I want to slow it down again because I don't want this thing rolling over. I plan on painting. Now, you're seeing this for the first time as I am. That paint is stuck. I didn't use acid etch paint for that, so I was a bit worried that it would just come off. So I'll paint the chassis rails black. I had a bit of an accident with these. You can't bend aluminium and then bend it again. Once you bent it, and I got it wrong, and I tried to correct it and snap. And same with the front, correct it and snap. So I'm going to JB weld those, and then hopefully when you paint it, you won't tell. So yeah, that's so these are fairly weak axles, but we'll see. This thing is not heavy. It really is not heavy at all. It probably weighs a third of the yellow one. Yeah, that's all about with the Bond events. They're going to go in there like that. They look pretty mean when they're stuck in, but they won't stay in. Right, so I pause again. This is getting to be a long video. I'm sorry, guys. Right, so this is Old Faithful, my Emax. Now, this chassis used to be under that shell, which is an FG 1/6 shell. That was kind of donated by a friend. I'm about to renovate that, possibly even make a fiberglass mould of that and make a new one from scratch, because that is battered. He had it on his actual FG Bigfoot, and it was yellow. And obviously it's got the cutout for the exhaust, which I tried to fill the gap best I could, but you know, this is a big shell now. This was a pretty truck when it was moving. It had these extra width. These had these deep dish Raven RC deep dish wheels. You can't even buy these anymore, so these are rare as rocking horse poop. Now this is just basically bog standard late model Emax. It started out as a T-Max originally. These skid plates are probably 20 years old now. This is an early T-Max. I swapped it. It's literally been rebuilt. The only original part of it now is the skid plates. Everything else has either been broken and replaced, or broken and replaced, or upgraded. It's got integer shocks on, and it's probably the only thing that integer makes that are any good. These integer springs, the shocks are original Ultra Shocks. As you can see, it was a crew cab originally. I extended the Emax to fit the shell, and then I got this shell. Then I extended the Emax again, and while I was at a bash, it got hit head on by a Losi 5. As big as it is, it wasn't going to survive that. So we're upgraded to a Titan 775. Now, this shell is coming off because, well, it's totally battered now. I've rebuilt it about several times. So I'm going to extend this again and put it under this body. Now, this chassis was actually built for the Yeller, for Big Yeller. I've had it on here, and it drove beautifully. And I was going to use all the mechanicals from the underneath that for the red one. But you know, when you get carried away and you start like, oh no, I don't want to trash that one, no, I'll build another one, and then you've got two, and you're like, eh. So there. These are totally intact shock towers and suspension, with a real nice plush setup actually. Pretty much nicked from this. Now this is all the leftover pieces. Bear with me. Put that down there. As you can see, it's a jumper, that one. This is the leftover pieces. Now, the plan is I'm going to make one normal Emax, put that shell on it. I'm going to make a 6 scale Emax, put it under there. And the third one, as you can see, there's 3 of them, will be spares. Because I've only 2 gearboxes, one of which is in Big Yeller. So, yeah. So there we go, guys. And like I said, disclaimer, when you're getting into this size of RCs, you need space, money, and a very understanding wife. Now, luckily, I have an understanding wife. So 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Now, I was just wondering what it is with Fords in the RC world. You'll notice I've got one Chevy up there. I've got another Chevy in the living room and me Fall Guy truck, and all the rest of them are Fords. The RC world likes Ford. There's like me Blackfoot replica there, and even that started out as a Land Freeder, which also has a Ford shell. So I was actually thinking of putting that shell on that, because the Bush Devil came with a Lexan shell, and that is the Bush Devil shell. So I was actually tempted to do that, but I ended up buying a Blackfoot shell. So there you go. Right, now I don't know if YouTube will let me upload a 20-minute video, so there we go, guys. There's been a few people asking to see the 6 scales. So at some point these two are going to become that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. I was going to go with a Brian O'Connell. Is it O'Connell? From Fast and Furious' shop truck. Now I know RC Shelf Queen, who's bit I've been talking to, is going to do the same with his 1/6 scale F-150. So I don't think I'm going to do that now, because yeah, it's not an F-150 Lightning anyway. Like I say, it was a crew cab. I'm actually thinking of extending it back to being a crew cab. I still have all the bits I cut out of it, so I don't know. As you can see, there's bits out of this all over the place. I sold this on and then got it back, but it was cut out to be a nitro. Now that's a big hole. That it was all missing. I've replaced all that with bits of black styrene. I was going to do the same with this, so I may just fit it to a crawler at some point and make it like a proper nice shot. Dog's in the way. Right, anyway, so there we go. People have been asking to see the 6 scales, and there we are. I've still got an update video to do with that now. I've put the light kit in it. That's in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Any questions about the 6 scales, fire away. I'm happy to answer anything, because I know a couple of you are now building one of these. So, laters, guys. Bye.